So, for the last couple of years, I've been informed by the mainstream media, the ADL, politicians, various other activist organizations that anti Semitism is coming from the right. The MAGA movement, Donald Trump, they are the beacons of anti Semitism. Turns out that the anti-Semitism is coming from the American universities. Interesting how that is. I guess the ADL, maybe they don't have enough funding. They don't have enough resources to investigate. This one may have slipped their radar. They're also very quiet about it. I mean, I haven't seen them in the news coming out condemning American universities about the huge rise of anti-Semitism. But, well, there it is. Now, the internet is filled with a video that went viral, which is a university professor getting arrested by police officers. And as she's getting arrested, she's basically screaming, I'm a professor, because we know that professors are above humanity, right? Like, the law applies to everyone, but then there is the professor that is above the everyone. So, I suppose, like, this is the shocking thing, right? Now, here's what I actually do find shocking, because I have been a person that has been watching the news for the last 6 years. And when it comes to American universities, a lot of bizarre shit and a lot of bizarre ideologies have been created. Like, it all started with hashtag all men are rapists, right? So, like, you have all of these university professors saying that all men, yes, your father, your grandfather, Joe Biden himself, all of them, hashtag all of them are rapists. And of course, they diluted the word rape to mean that if you're looking at a woman, it's the male gaze and you can rape her with your eyes and all that nonsense. And all of that was tolerated, and it was like, well, it's free speech. I mean, they get to say whatever they want because it's free speech, right? And then it was like, white men now. Now they're laser focusing. They're zooming in. They're like, white men. White men are the problem. And they're having, all of their seminars and lectures about white men being the aggressors and microaggressions as well. And, now they're cracking down on human rights. It's not just the demographic, the genetics, but it's also like, the way that you have your hair. Like, if you have your hair in dreads, then that is a microaggression. If you behave in certain ways, that those are microaggressions. And again, like, they're allowed to say whatever they want, and they're allowed to do whatever they want. And then you have the civil rights movement, those peaceful movements, fiery but mostly peaceful protests that took place in America in 2020. And they destroyed and scorched a lot of businesses, and they destroyed the private property of a lot of people. And university professors were there, and some people even published books, hashtag in defense of looting and all of that stuff. And they were allowed to say whatever they wanted. Like, that's fine, you can say whatever you want. You can promote as much woke ideology as you want, which also considers America to be a systemically evil, racist country with a colonial past that did slavery. And because of that, America needs to be deconstructed, and we need to reconstruct it with Marxism by the shepherding of the Democratic Party. Like, all of those things were allowed to go on, and you had student protests, and you had all of those things just fine. Until they started protesting Israel. When they started protesting Israel, the cops appeared, and it's like, well, we do not tolerate this thing here. We do not allow this type of speech here. So a lot of people are finding this very interesting. Incredibly interesting. So, like, free speech exists up to a limit. Like, there is a limit that the university professors can have to free speech. Right. And now, pretty much their entire ideology is being used against them. It's like safe spaces and all of that stuff. It's like, well, you're making the students feel unsafe. Elon Musk himself got into hot water with the ADL. Like, they got the advertisers to be against him because he said, like, this woke ideology that was being taught in universities. Yeah, like, this whole thing that you need to be against colonialism, you need to be against capitalism, the straight white man is a problem, and all of these students, they're looking at Benjamin Netanyahu and they're seeing a straight white man. He doesn't look like a very queer individual, and he basically said, it's like, well, I mean, this is what you've been teaching the students for the last 8 years or so, since Occupy Wall Street. You've been constantly hammering this into the students' brains, and now you're shocked. Now you're Pikachu face when you're seeing that the students are protesting. But apparently, no. Apparently, what he said, what he articulated, is incorrect. But when we look at what the police is doing, when we're looking at what the police is cracking down on, oh well, actually, maybe Elon Musk did have a little bit of a point there. Still, it's interesting how the ADL is condemning this. Now, what I find interesting is that during the Trump administration, there was absolutely no crackdown on university professors. In fact, I remember when Sargon of Akkad back in the day, YouTube content creator, made a video saying that, oh, maybe we need to to suspend universities in order to see what's going on. Oh, everyone was outraged. It's like, oh well, but by free speech, but all of this. They don't have many people defending them right now. They don't have many people defending university professors saying by free speech because you don't believe in it. Like, they do not believe in a culture where free speech should be allowed. They live in a culture of safetyism. Oh, well, if students feel unsafe, then there you fucking go, you know? It is what it is. I mean, they literally made this bed for them. They created the culture in which if you voice your political concerns, well, apparently you can have a police officer appearing and arresting you. And in this particular case, yeah, I mean, she was resisting arrest. I did see the video. Well, it's not very nice to behold, but it is what it is. I mean, the couple's doing his job. She resisted arrest. She had to be arrested. And it's funny because, like, all of these professors are now like, oh, well, the government is against us and blah, blah, blah. Didn't you LARP as revolutionaries? Like, aren't you LARPing as if you're against the system while taking taxpayer money? While taking grants and benefits from the system? Right, the only thing that I find it interesting is how easy the government manages to deal with unrest. Which begs the question, why wasn't the unrest dealt with in 2020? In other words, every type of crime, every type of problem that exists in the United States, if the government wants to deal with it, they can. So if they don't deal with it, it's safe to assume that they just want it to exist. By the way, do you think Donald Trump would have done this? Like, this is an interesting question. Do you think that the Republicans would have had the balls to send the police into the universities in order to arrest professors and students that are protesting? Because I don't think he would. I think it's extremely unlikely. But I guess we'll never know. Just food for thought, right? Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, if you like the video, there is a pinned comment which will take you to my Patreon as well as my PayPal and Subscribestar. And if you want the best buyer's remorse on the internet, you subscribe there and I guarantee I will give it to you. And there's also a link to my live stream. Believe it or not, I live stream every day. I don't know what I'm doing with myself, but like, if you want to hear more of me, and not to mention if you want to hear This Week in Stupid, it's now live stream. I have a co-host and everything, so if you click on that link, it will take you to my live stream. You can subscribe and you'll get information and updates about it. So let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys later. Take care.